As we are challenging the original film genre of film noir by producing a modernised version of the genre known as neo-noir, it was vital for us to include conventions from the original genre so it's clear to the audience what type of genre of film they are watching. From watching previous film noirs and neo-noirs, it was obvious that we needed to include some key conventions, which include dark lighting to create shadows across a face, low-key lighting with high contrast to enhance the shadows, but also to create a sense of mystery and secrecy, a femme fatale character who is seductive yet manipulating, props such as Venetian blinds, cigarettes, phone boxes and personal items, 1940s jazz music, locations such as urban streets, alleys, lounges and pubs, and most importantly a hard-boiled detective storyline with a detective character. So we wanted to use as many conventions as we could, but also challenge and develop these ideas. So voiceovers and flashbacks are constantly used in film noir, so we wanted to include this convention in our story. So they are stylistic narrative elements of a film noir, and they are usually said in the protagonist's voice, and they are used to update the audience and to progress the film. So in our film we had 2 voiceovers. One was right at the beginning, which was basically we used to introduce the character of Jake, but to also let the audience know what has happened and give them hints to what is going to happen in our film. So this is it.
I found him on the 16th of February. He wasn't moving, just lying there. I didn't know what to do, so I just stood there helpless. I never really saw him much. He was always at work and business meetings, and if he wasn't there, he was on the phone.
So for us it was important to get across that Jake and his father didn't have a close relationship. So voiceover also allowed us to show this through Jake's through Jake's emotions and feelings. This is similar to the beginning of the film Double Indemnity, which was made in 1944. Although it's not a voiceover, we see the main protagonist, which is this man here, Walter Neff, go back to his office in Los Angeles and leave a message on leave a memo on a dictaphone. And this diction that he is saying becomes into the story of the film, which is told in flashbacks.
Office memorandum. Walter Neff to Barton Keyes, claims manager. Los Angeles, July 16th, 1938. Dear Keyes, suppose you'll call this a confession when you hear it. Well, I don't like the word confession.
So these are both similar as they allow the characters to express their views and feelings, and they both also inform the audience what has happened, and in both cases murder. So in our second voiceover, which we have at the end, we used this to update the audience on what has happened in case they're not quite clear, but to also allow again Jake's feelings to come across. So because obviously we want the audience to follow Jake's point of view.
I know the truth. He was the one who killed my dad. Dog tags, the phone number, Scarlett's party, it all adds up.
In both voiceovers we use flashbacks, so in this second voiceover we use flashbacks so that the audience are then made clear of who this man is here, and obviously he is the murderer. Because at the beginning when we see the flashbacks, we see him, but the audience isn't really paying attention to him as they're paying attention to Jake's dad, and they're more looking at the relationship between Jake's father and himself. So in this one, it's almost like to make it clear to the audience what has happened.
How could I know it was him?
Find the right bit.
Dog tags, the phone number, Scarlett's party, all
So to make the flashbacks look more effective, using Final Cut, we made it look slightly glowy around the edges and like increase the brightness and lower the contrast, so it looks brighter, glowy, more almost like a dream. So I feel our voiceovers have worked really well, especially when it came to making our story clear to the audience. It also allowed us to let the audience follow the story from Jake's point of view, which is important for a film noir. So our flashbacks, like I was just saying, especially our flashbacks at the beginning, we use these to keep the audience guessing, like what was going to happen, and we wanted, at the beginning, we wanted the audience to guess like who this man was with Jake's father. And this is similar to a clip in LA Confidential where Bud finds somebody's ID and he has a flashback. So this flashback is used to create uncertainty and more mystery and confuse the audience even more. It's like another clue.
Never heard of it.
They call me Buzz.
So similar to ours, we made ours look glowy and quite bright, but because they had speech in theirs, they made it echoey and like a voiceover. So if you just watch that again.
Leland Weeks? Never heard of it.
They call me Buzz.
They also used the fade effect to make it look more like a flashback. So yeah, I think overall our voiceovers and flashbacks have been used really effectively, and keeps the audience guessing at all times, but also informs the audience and gives hints to the audience of what is going to happen. A conventional film noir that is often used to create a sense of mystery was the phone box, like seen at the opening of neo-noir film Brick, when Brandon is on the phone to his missing girlfriend Emily. So we wanted to challenge this convention and modernise it by using mobile phones instead of actually using a phone box. We wanted to keep the element of mystery and secrecy that the phone box creates in the films, but as our film was set in modern days and is based around teenage students, we didn't think that it would be appropriate to use a phone box, as these are quite old-fashioned, and these days most teenagers have a mobile phone that they use to contact friends. So at the beginning of our film, we see Scarlett text Jake to ask if he can meet her at the pub, just after we see Scarlett with her boyfriend. So this is the clip. So we wanted this to be our first clue to Scarlett not being so innocent and texting another boy whilst she has a boyfriend. We also used a phone number on Jake's father's phone bill as a clue. I could just find it. Here it is.
Bob, you've been ringing this guy since April.
Yeah, that's really strange. So anyway.
So what we wanted to show was when Jake pulled out this phone bill that Scarlett clearly recognised the number, but she didn't say anything. So not only is this a clue in the actual film, it's also a clue that Scarlett isn't as innocent and pure as the audience first thinks she is when we first see her. So I feel using mobile phones not only modernised our film, but created secrecy, which is what we wanted. One of my favourite clips is when Jake rings the number and you hear the murderer on the phone. I think this worked really effectively. So this is at the end, and this is obviously when Jake realises that Scarlett's father killed his. So I couldn't actually find a clip, but this is exactly the same as the opening of the film Brick, when Brandon is on the phone to his girlfriend Emily. You can't actually see Emily, but you can just hear her voice, so a voiceover type of thing. And this is similar to when you can hear the murderer saying hello down the phone, but you can't necessarily see them. So just there, I thought that worked really effectively, and again, as the Venetian blinds are blocking the view of him, it kind of creates a sense of mystery and secrecy, and the audience still aren't sure at this point whether it is him until he walks out of the house and you see the dog tags. But yeah, I thought the use of mobile phones worked really well, and I think we challenged the convention well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So to us, lighting was really important to include and experiment with within our film, especially low-key lighting and high contrast to create shadows across faces and reveal a character. So in this scene, we see the villain who is first introduced, so lighting was obviously really important for us. So just here, what we've tried to do is have light shining through the Venetian blinds and have Michael's face half shadowed, because this could suggest two sides to him, an evil side and a good side. We also kept the femme fatale hidden, as we wanted to keep her the secret as much as possible, and as she isn't all that good, we also wanted to make her look quite evil as well. So in this shot we have the light shining through the Venetian blinds, which is lighting up the side of her face, but the back of her is dark. So we did this intentionally by turning off all the lights in the living room that we used and just having natural light coming through the Venetian blinds, as we have seen this in many films before. If I just go onto Google and type in it comes up with a whole load of examples. I'm watching films like Double Indemnity, Killer's Kiss. It had a lot of examples of these, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So again, the whole time, everything is dark apart from the light coming through the Venetian blinds. And I like this shot because here the villain is actually like shadowing the femme fatale, so she becomes a lot darker and you can't see his face, so it almost becomes quite scary and makes him look like a really evil character. So I'm just going to compare some of the lighting used in this scene of the femme fatale and her father to a shootout scene in LA Confidential with Bud and Ed. So the first shot we see of the villain, his face is half shadowed, and he's wearing a dark top. And also the femme fatale, you can't see her and she is very dark and shadowed out. So here, how the shadow is created across half of his face could suggest that he has a split personality, and that has two sides to him, like an evil side and a good side. So like in this clip, it's very similar. Both of the characters are very dark and shadowed out, and you can't see their faces very well, which creates a sense of mystery and evilness about them. And here, this shot of Ed's face is very similar to the shot of our villain's face, as his face is also half shadowed out, which again implies good versus bad, like maybe he has a split personality, two sides to him. Again here, the same thing, Russell Crowe's face is completely shadowed out and the light is just revealing the side of his face and the gun, which is obviously important. Here again, his face is half shadowed, like the other shots, and very similar to this shot. And it's also quite similar to this shot of the femme fatale, how the light is just lighting up the very light side of her face, but then this half is very dull and shadowed, which could suggest that she also has two sides to her. So I really like this shot with the Venetian blinds on the wall behind Russell Crowe, and this is similar to this shot of our femme fatale with the Venetian blinds behind her and the light streaming through. And again here with the Venetian blinds, which is similar to this shot of Ed with the light streaming through the Venetian blinds here and over here. So as bullets are starting to be fired, holes are coming through the wall which let the lights stream through. So this could suggest that evil is entering and coming into the house where they are, so that they aren't safe. And this could suggest the same here with our Venetian blinds, that evil's coming through. Or it could mean the opposite, innocence is coming through outside, Jake being outside. It was important for us to include and portray our femme fatale well, as this is an important character in all film noirs. To help, I looked at previous femme fatales such as Lynn in LA Confidential, played by Kim Basinger. So, femme fatales are known for their seductive yet manipulating ways. For us, costume was important to reflect this, especially makeup and colours. So in this shot we see our femme fatale Scarlett wearing red lipstick, and she also has slightly curled hair, which is a typical convention for a femme fatale character. So red lipstick has connotations of love, passion, but also danger and blood. So we use this to show that our character Scarlett could possibly have two sides to her, lustful and passionate, but also dangerous. So we thought that the lipstick could symbolise the future when she murders her own father. So this is similar to the femme fatale in LA Confidential, Lynn, which is played by Kim Basinger. So in this clip we see her wearing bright red lipstick, which contrasts with her white silk dress, which has connotations of purity and innocence. This is also similar to what the femme fatale is wearing in Double Indemnity. Her name is Phyllis. She is also seen in one of the first scenes that we see her. She is wearing a white silk frock, which also could suggest innocence and purity. So at the beginning of our film, we want our audience to believe that Scarlett is innocent and pure. We wanted to follow this convention by having Scarlett in white at her most innocent and vulnerable stage in the film. So we decided that this was when Scarlett is having a conversation with her father, which is here. So as you can see, she is wearing a white cardigan with a white top. So we wanted to keep the contrast in there. So we specifically picked this cardigan because it has the black rims, and this top also has splodges of black in it. So that could still show that she has two sides to her, and could also be foreshadowing the future for when she kills her father. We also thought it was appropriate for her to be in white, as in this scene the villain is wearing a dark black shirt. So obviously we wanted the femme fatale to stand out in contrast from what the villain is wearing. So we wanted to think about every small detail when it came to making our femme fatale look realistic. For example, in the pub scene, we thought it would be suitable for her to be stirring her straw. So, because in a clip from Pulp Fiction, where the femme fatale and Vincent are eating in a restaurant, you see the femme fatale stirring her straw. So in this scene, we see the femme fatale playing with her straw in her milkshake. So this could be quite ambiguous, as it could be, or it could be seen as seductive, which sums up the femme fatale character. So this is why we wanted to include this in our own film, because obviously it's another symbol of the femme fatale having two sides. So this is our femme fatale in our film, playing with her straw and staring at. Yeah, we copied that from Pulp Fiction, and that was basically to show again that the femme fatale has two sides, as the straw playing could either be seen as innocent or it could be seen as quite seductive. So I just wanted to pick out some key moments within our film that are suggested by camera angles and camera work. So in this particular shot, there is a close-up of Jake's face as he is revealing to Scarlett that his father is dead. So obviously that is a key moment within the film, as Scarlett's dad murdered his, and obviously she knows. So we decided to do an extreme close-up because from watching previous film noir films, such as Detour, Killer's Kiss, Sunset Boulevard, we noticed that there were a lot of extreme close-ups and close-ups when there was a key moment or a dramatic moment within the film. So another common convention in film noir is canted or Dutch angles, which is when the camera is slightly angled. So we wanted to use this, and we thought the best place to use this is when Jake finds out that Scarlett's father killed his. So obviously this is a dramatic moment, so we wanted it to look more really dramatic and make it look like a key moment. So this is the clip. That was a bit quick. So just there. I also think that looks really stylistic and very film noir, so I'm really pleased with that shot, and it's actually one of my favourite shots in the whole film. We also wanted to subtly hint at dominance within characters, so I've picked out a clip where we have a high angle looking down on Jake, and then straight afterwards we have a low angle looking up at Scarlett. So there we have two high angles looking down at Jake and one in the middle looking up at Scarlett. So this could suggest to our audience that Scarlett is the more dominant character, as she is looking up, as the camera is looking up at her. Also suggests she's a strong, powerful character, which is true within the film. She leads Jake on very easily and hides a big secret from him. In the film, we see Jake in the film we see Jake as a very vulnerable character who is led on by Scarlett, who is trying to find out who murdered his dad, and the whole way through the audience are made to feel sorry for him. So we used high angles to emphasise this, and also to show the contrast between her and him and Scarlett. When we first introduce the villain, which is Scarlett's father, we also have a low angled shot looking up at him, suggesting again that one second if I can just find it. So anyway, it just suggests that he is a very dominant character within our film. And that he is very powerful, and obviously this is true because he has such an influence on Jake's life and kills his father. So we used high and low angles to show dominance and vulnerability within characters. So we also subverted the genre by having the femme fatale kill at the end. So this doesn't usually happen in film noirs. The femme fatale usually has something to do with a murder, or she knows something and is very misleading about it. But from the film noirs I've watched, I haven't actually seen a femme fatale kill. So we wanted to challenge this and have our femme fatale Scarlet kill at the end. So this is the clip. We also had our ending as actually quite sad, which again is quite unusual for film noirs. Normally they're happy endings and quite cheesy, but we wanted to keep ours sad and quite thoughtful and wanted our audience to think about it. So we used the point of view here, so we kept the audience questioning who the murderer was, as they don't find out till the very last minute. So we had a pan up from her legs to reveal the face. The use of dark clothing, one, it hides who the femme fatale is, but two, it also shows a change in character, because at the beginning when she's with her father, we obviously see her wearing white, which suggests that she is pure and innocent.